Hello and welcome to our team handbook review orientation. We are going to take this time to walk through the employee handbook, and I'm going to go ahead and point out the points that are most applicable to the day-to-day job, and I'll also briefly explain some of the other sections in the employee handbook, but I do encourage you to go by line and make sure you understand everything within the employee handbook, and if you don't, please reach out to me, or I can have you speak with a human resources representative to clarify anything that you are not sure of. So page 1, welcome. Welcome to All Natural House Cleaning. We are so excited and grateful to have you join our team and grow with us. Our mission at All Natural House Cleaning is to provide professional cleaning services with environmentally friendly cleaning methods backed by science and exceptional customer service. Our values: quality. We are committed to excellence. We promise to invest in our education to ensure we continue to improve the quality of service we provide. Honest. We value gaining our customers' trust. We promise to operate with honesty and integrity. We promise to respect our customers' home, belongings, and privacy. Consistent. We follow industry-proven systems and checklists to guarantee a consistent clean every time. Positive. A smile can go a long way. We do our best to leave a positive impact in any way we can. And these are super, super important. Our core values as a company must be aligned with our employees as well, so we can make sure we deliver that to our customers. We deliver. We promise to deliver our best work each and every time with care and consideration of the outcome. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If for any reason our customers are not 100% satisfied with the service provided, we will do everything in our power to make it right. Science-based cleaning. We follow systems backed by science to ensure we clean safely and effectively. Customer service. We treat our customers with kindness and respect, regardless if it is reciprocated. Sometimes people are going to have bad days, but it's important to make sure we still treat them with kindness and respect, even if they don't do the same to us. Teamwork. We work together, we support one another, and we root for each other's success in the company's mission and in life in general. 5 steps to success. We believe that you will find your employment with us to be challenging and rewarding. You are an important asset to the company. It is our sincere wish that you find success and satisfaction in your new job. And these are our 5 steps that we feel will set you up for success in the workplace. Punctuality, super important. Be on time, in proper dress code, and prepared for a fast-paced and detail-oriented environment. Attitude, set the tone for the day, show up with a smile. We all have things going on in our life, but if we start off on a good foot, that can ultimately be a domino effect for the rest of the team and the customers as well. Self and situational awareness. Be aware of your surroundings. Sometimes when you're in a person's home, you might walk into an awkward situation, and just being intuitive and using common sense that if you see a couple maybe having a disagreement, go ahead and start on another room and don't clean in the kitchen while husband and wife are fighting. That's just an example. And also be mindful of your actions. If a customer's on a phone working from home, you don't want to start having a conversation with your coworker in the same room where you're really loud and you're interrupting their focus. Communication removes the guesswork. Most complaints are down to a miscommunication either with us and the customer, or the customer and us. So be willing to communicate and over-communicate and clarify things if you aren't sure. Even if it seems like a dumb question, there are no dumb questions. Communication will ultimately prevent misunderstandings. And when in doubt, ask your supervisor. That could be either your team leader or myself, depending on who's most available at that time. Fuel your body. This is huge. Your body is your gasoline tank. So prepare with proper hydration and nutrition throughout the day to keep your body and brain sustained. This is a full workout all day, so you want to make sure you're drinking water and keeping your body fueled with good nutrition, good whole foods. Your work is important to both our company and the clients for whom you will be working. The development of skill and proficiency in performing your duties is vital. Your value as a reliable, conscientious associate should never be underestimated. Your belief in the importance of good job performance is essential to your successful employment. Okay, so that is the welcome section completed. Now we're going to get into the dry policies and laws that we abide by. So I will briefly summarize these sections. And again, please go through in detail and we clarify anything you don't understand. Employee Handbook. This handbook is designed to summarize certain personal policies and benefits of all natural house cleaning. And to acquaint employees with many of the rules concerning employment with the company. This handbook applies to all employees, and compliance with the company's policy is a condition of employment. This means that you must comply with everything stated in the employee handbook in order to maintain employment with us. This handbook supersedes all previous employment policies, written and oral, express, and implied. The company reserves the right to modify, delete, or add the provisions of this handbook from time to time in its sole and absolute discretion. We will always let employees know when we do modify a policy, but it can change at any time, so keep that in mind. This employee handbook is not a binding contract between the company and its employees, nor is it intended to alter the at-will employment relationship between the company and its employee. Florida is an at-will state, meaning either party can resign at any time, with or without notice, for any given reason. The company reserves the right to interpret the policies in this handbook and to deviate from them when, in its discretion, it determines it is appropriate. Changes in policy, again, at any given time, we may need to modify policies, procedures, work rules, and you would be notified when this happens. Employment at will, we just stated this, it's an at-will basis. Unless otherwise specified in a written employment agreement, you're free to resign at any time for any reason, with or without notice. Similarly, the company is free to conclude the employment relationship at any time for any lawful reason, of course, with or without cause or with or without notice. Customer service. This is a huge one since we are a service-based business. Customer service is a big element of the success of our company. Excellent customer service is something that we take great pride in here. We want all of our team to be equipped to provide the best service possible for our clients. Here are some techniques that can be used to provide excellent customer service for our clients. Communication is key. Most conflicts with cleaning clients are caused by communication gaps. What the client wants is not communicated to the company or to the staff, or what we can provide is not clearly communicated to the client in a way in which they understand. So remember, when it comes to cleaning, there is no such thing as common sense. Everybody has their own idea of what common sense is. So make sure if something needs to be updated to the customer's count, you add that as a note in our House Call Pro app, which we'll get to at a later point. So we can make sure we update their account for any future cleanings. If we have a different technician in a home, they already understand anything that the customer needs done that isn't already in the checklist. So the key is to, if the client is asking questions, adding services, or making changes, let them know that you will make a note of this and you'll have Theona contact them as soon as possible if it's something like a question that they have as far as adding a service that you don't have the answer to. You'll say, hey, Theona will get in contact with you as soon as possible, and you guys can set that add-on up for the future. And then at that time, you'll make a note, and I'll review that and reach out to the customer. Communicate kindly with the client what you can and cannot do. If a customer is asking us to do something, do a service that we don't provide, make sure you're really clear with them that that's something that we don't provide, but we can try to find somebody that can. If a client ever leaves a note, which we highly recommend them not to, Be sure to contact the customer to be 100% sure that you understand the note properly, and also let us know as well. If the client's home when you finish up the cleaning, make sure you say goodbye, have a good day, unless it's obvious that they do not want to be disturbed if they're working on the phone, etc. Happy, helpful attitude, being willing to help your fellow team members is huge. We want to work together with a helpful attitude. Be prepared. We have notes for every single customer, so we ask that you read those notes so that way when you're in the home, you already know what the notes are, any changes that have been made to their checklist. You're already aware of that before you get into the home. And the customer will really appreciate that. Employee classification. So this gives you the definition for each different classification: exempt employees, non-exempt employees, part-time, temporary, independent contractor or consultant. And when you sign your job description, it will tell you exactly which classification you are. And if you have any questions, we can clarify that for you. Employment policies, Equal Employment Opportunity and Americans with Disabilities Act. It is the policy of the company to provide equal employment opportunities to all employees and employment applicants without regard to unlawful considerations of race, religion, creed, color, national origin, sex, pregnancy, sexual orientation, gender identity, age, ancestry, physical or mental disability, genetic information, marital status, or any other classification protected by applicable local, state, or federal laws. This policy prohibits unlawful discrimination based on the perception that anyone has any of those characteristics or is associated with a person who has or is perceived as having any of those characteristics. This policy applies to all aspects of employment, including but not limited to hiring, job assignment, working conditions, compensation, promotion, benefits, scheduling, training, discipline, and termination. Confidentiality. In the course of employment with All Natural House Cleaning, employees will have access to different business strategy, future plans, financial information, suppliers, customers, personal information, or other information that the company considers proprietary and confidential. Maintaining the confidentiality of this information is vital to the company's competitive position in the industry and ultimately its ability to achieve financial success and stability. Employees must protect this information by safeguarding it when in use, using it only for business of the company, and disclosing it only when authorized to do so. And we will have everybody sign a non-disclosure agreement as well, employees rather. Employment of minors, so these are the laws protecting employment of minors. They're limited as far as hours and required certain breaks. Children on the job. Employees should never bring their children to work, and they should also never assume supervision of any children of our clients while on the job. If the clients leave children requiring supervision in your work area or leave the client location completely, then you need to notify me, meaning the office, immediately. Employment of relatives. The company recognizes that the employment of relatives in certain circumstances, such as when they will work in the same department, supervise or manage the other, or have access to confidential or sensitive information regarding the other, this can cause problems related to supervision, safety, security, or morale, or create conflicts of interest that can substantially disrupt the company's operations. When the company determines any of these problems will be present, it will decline to hire an individual to work in the same department as a relative. And it states here which relatives are subject to this policy. If for some reason employees become relatives during the time of employment, you should notify the company immediately so we can determine whether it will be a problem. Introductory period. The first 30 days of employment are considered an introductory period for all newly hired employees. During this time, you will learn new responsibilities, get acquainted with fellow employees, and determine whether you are happy with the position. Also, during this time, we will manage your performance Upon completion of the introductory period, your manager will review your performance. If the company finds your performance satisfactory and decides to continue your employment, you will be advised of any improvements expected. This is also an opportunity for you to make suggestions to improve the company's efficiency and operations. So after 30 days, you will sit down with myself and we'll review how things are going. I'll open up the conversation to get feedback from you, to hear how we can better our onboarding process. And then we'll also give you some feedback, if any, to help you become better and more proficient in your position. Company equipment. Company equipment, supplies, and information are to be used for all natural house cleaning business only. So the equipment that we give you guys, we don't want you going home and using it for your personal home or using it to clean houses on the side. It is our property. We invest it to use in our business, and we ask that you respect that. With that same token, we ask that you please not bring your personal cleaning supplies to use on the job. We want to keep everything consistent, and we want to make sure we know that whatever you're using, it's safe, we've researched it, and we're all trained on how to use it. So we really ask that you please don't bring your own personal cleaning supplies, but we do encourage, if you have something that you use at home and you think it works great and you want to add it to our supplies, submit it as a suggestion, and we would love to try it out and see if it's something we can incorporate in our supplies. Employee information. It is the employee's responsibility to keep the office informed of his or her current contact information. So if you have an address update, name change, let us know so we can update your records. Personal record and employee references. The company maintains a personal file and payroll records for each employee as required by law. Personal files and payroll records are the property of the company and may not be removed from company premises without written authorization. Because personal files and payroll records are confidential, access to the records is restricted. Generally, only those who have legitimate reason to review information in an employee's file are allowed to do so. Disclosure of personal information to outside sources will be limited. However, the company will cooperate with requests from authorized law enforcement or local, state, or federal agencies conducting official investigations, and as otherwise legally required. So basically, we're going to keep your information locked up and safe. We're not going to tell other people about it unless we're required to do so by law. And if you would like to review your personal records, you're allowed to at any time, as long as we can coordinate it during normal business hours and appoint a representative to sit down with you and review them. Expense reimbursement. If for any reason you need to purchase something on behalf of the company, please keep the receipt and submit it to us to receive reimbursement. Firearms and or possession are strictly prohibited on the job. Violation of this policy is grounds for immediate termination of employment. First aid and job-related injury. The office is equipped with first aid kit for employee to use. In the event of any injury on the job, contact management immediately. In the event of an emergency, call 911 immediately. Serious injuries should be seen immediately by a physician. Notify your physician that the injury occurred on the job. All medical bills that arise from a workplace injury or occupational disease will be paid by Workers' Compensation Fund. Job premises. Only all natural house cleaning employees or authorized independent contractors are allowed to be at client sites without express permission. Neither minors nor adults may enter a client location without management position. Violation of this policy is grounds for immediate termination of employment. So this means, unfortunately, you can't bring friends or significant others on job sites without permission. Privacy. The company is respectful of employee privacy. All employee demographic and personal information will be shared only as required in the normal course of business. Immigration law compliance. In compliance with the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, each new employee, as a condition of employment, must complete the Employment Eligibility Verification Form I-9 on the date of hire and present documentation establishing identity and employment eligibility within 3 business days of date of hire. So this is basically the I-9 form where you need to have either your social security card, birth certificate, passport, and ID. I think you need 2 forms of those identification, which we will review. Political neutrality, we remain neutral. We don't discriminate against your political views or your support with any political event or activity. Hours of work and payroll, pay periods and pay days. Each employees are paid on a weekly basis via direct deposit unless you opt out of direct deposit. Then in that case, you'd be paid with a check. And it is on every Thursday. Overtime, non-exempt employees will be paid in accordance with federal and state law. All overtime work by non-exempt employees must be authorized in advance by their manager. Only hours actually worked will be used to calculate overtime pay. Rest and meal periods. All rest and meal periods will be in accordance with Florida state law. To the extent Florida state law does not require rest and meal breaks, non-exempt employees will be provided with a 10-minute rest break for every 4-hour period worked. This time is counted and paid as time worked. Non-exempt employees scheduled to work more than a 5-hour period will be provided a 30-minute unpaid meal period. So during the day, you will need to coordinate with whomever you're working with when you guys will fit in your breaks. If you're ever having an issue finding a time to schedule this, please reach out to me and I can assist in either delaying arrival times or doing whatever we need to do to make sure you can fit that 30-minute break in, or at least, a 10-15-minute break if it's a really, really busy day. But we want to make sure if you need to refuel, stop and grab a drink, you can do that so that way you're prepared and have energy for the next job. Payroll deductions. Various payroll deductions are made each payday to comply with federal and state laws pertaining to taxes and insurance. Deductions will be made for the following: federal and state income tax withholding, Social Security, Medicare, state disability insurance, and family temporary disability insurance, and other items designated by you or required by law. And you will see this on your pay stub exactly what's deducted from your paycheck. Wage garnishment. A garnishment is a court order requiring an employer to remit part of an employee's wages to a third party to satisfy a just debt. Direct deposit. All employees are encouraged but not required to use direct deposit and have their paychecks deposited into a bank account. If you opt out of this, we can write you a check. Hourly employees receive an hourly wage for time spent on the job. Hourly rate is established upon hiring and is clearly stated in employee agreement. Hourly pay also includes your travel time, although it says spent on the job. Even while you're commuting in between jobs, you're still paid your normal hourly wage, just to clarify that. Commission pay. There's some opportunities where you can receive commission pay for doing certain special projects. Mileage reimbursement. Each employee that drives their own personal vehicle has the opportunity to get mileage reimbursement on each paycheck as long as you submit an IRS compliant mileage log. You will be compensated for the commute in between jobs for 62 cents per mile. The IRS compliant mileage log should include time and date of trip, reason for trip, total mileage, odometer reading at the beginning of the year or beginning of employment, and the end of the year, vehicle make, model, and year. These must be submitted on a weekly basis with your timesheet on Sunday before 8 p.m. Schedule. Everyone will get their schedule on a weekly basis on the House Call Pro app. The schedules are subject to change on a daily basis. Sometimes we get cancellations or we need to shuffle things around due to staffing. Time cards. Non-exempt employees are required to keep an accurate and complete record of their attendance and hours worked. We will track our time in the House Call Pro app, but you will still need to submit a time card on a weekly basis along with your mileage log. And that must be submitted by 8 p.m. every Sunday evening. Time cards are official business records and may not be altered without the employee's supervisor's approval and may not be falsified in any way. Meetings. All staff may be required to attend periodic employee staff meetings. Meeting schedules will be posted in advance and meeting time will be paid at your normal pay rate. We typically have our morning meeting for about 5 to 10 minutes at the storage unit. Those are just quick meetings that are directly correlated to that day. And then we may have longer meetings throughout the year as well, and we'll let you know either via email or text when those will be, and you will be paid for those as well. Non-compete. All employees of All Natural House Cleaning will be asked to complete a non-compete in their employee handbook. Anti-harassment and discrimination. The company is committed to providing a work environment free of sexual or any form of unlawful harassment or discrimination. Prohibited conduct. Prohibited harassment or discrimination includes any verbal, physical, or visual conduct based on sex, race, age, national origin, disability, or any other legally protected basis. Complaint procedure. Employees who feel that they have been harassed or discriminated against, or who witness any harassment or discrimination by an employee, contract worker, customer, vendor, or anyone else who does business with the company, should immediately report such conduct to their supervisor or any other member of management. Discipline and standards of conduct. As an at-will employer, the company may impose discipline whenever it determines it is necessary or appropriate. Discipline may take various forms, including verbal counseling, written warning, suspension, demotion, transfer, reassignment, or termination. Our company is all about communication. If there is an issue, we're going to talk about it immediately. If the same situation needs to be revisited multiple times, we're probably going to set up an action plan with you to figure out what you need to get you back on track and how we can provide support in that. And obviously, if the issue continues to go unresolved, we may need to take other more abrasive methods up to termination. These are a few examples of prohibited conduct: dishonesty, falsification of company records, unauthorized use of property that belongs to the company, possession or control of illegal drugs, weapons, explosives, or any other dangerous unauthorized materials, fighting, engaging in threats of violence, insubordination, unauthorized or careless use of company's materials, equipment, or property, excessive absenteeism or tardiness, lack of teamwork, poor communication, unsatisfactory performance, unprofessional conduct, sexual or other illegal harassment or discrimination, unauthorized use or disclosure of the company's confidential information, violation of any company policy. All Natural House Cleaning is to attempt to deal constructively with employee workplace conduct and to correct problems when possible. Again, if a problem arises, we're going to communicate immediately and try to come up with a plan together to resolve the issue. Here are some sample issues that would result in immediate termination: stealing from clients or employees or the company, complete insubordination, misrepresentations of reasons for time off, profanity, especially in a customer's home, physical threats, sexual harassment, no call, no show, poor attitude, being under the influence of drugs or alcohol, working for another house cleaning company or cleaning houses on the side during full-time employment with All Natural House Cleaning, soliciting clients, intentionally hiding or not reporting damages to the client's property, personal use of company property. Employees are permitted from borrowing company tools, equipment, or other property for their own personal use. Smoking. In the interest of promoting a healthy work environment for our clients and employees, smoking is not permitted on the job site or any portion of the client property while wearing your uniform or in company office spaces, except designated areas. Smoke breaks must be taken during regular break times and not on the job site. Poor weather. In the event of rain, wind, or other poor weather, employees should assume that it is a normal workday and arrive on time unless notified by a manager. With the exception of, if you're in a situation where it is unsafe to drive, definitely use your best discretion. We never want to put you in an unsafe situation. We will make weather calls before your reported start time. If there's severe weather, we may close for the day, and we will keep you updated when these situations arise. If you are ever in an unsafe situation that is inhibiting you from getting to work, please contact us immediately. Staff training. All Natural House Cleaning is dedicated to continuous staff training and development on all levels. Each job position may have initial training as well as ongoing training. As a team, we're committed to continuing education, so we may have continuing education courses done throughout the year. We may do a group training, listen to a webinar together. We always want to continue to become better at our craft. Theft. All client personal property and information is not to be removed without the express permission of management. Removal of any unauthorized client property or information may result in immediate dismissal and criminal prosecution. Work behavior. Respectful and ethical treatment of clients, contractors, vendors, consultants, and coworkers is essential, and sensitivity to their individual circumstances is often necessary. Personal use of company property. We've already talked about that. Unauthorized stops. With the exception of your breaks, we encourage you guys to not make unauthorized stops between appointments, saying hi to your friend or something that's not related to work, with the exception of your breaks that you would communicate with your coworker to make those at the appropriate time. Quarterly performance meetings. We have approximately 3 one-on-one meetings per year with each employee to assess progress and future goals, give feedback, and also get feedback from the employee to see how we can improve our systems and our company culture. Some of the areas that will be reviewed are quality of work, efficient use of time, core values, teamwork, problem solving, ability to complete job duties, attendance and punctuality, example to other employees in the company, future goals and vision, and of course, compensation. Then we also have our weekly alignment meetings. So we have a 15-minute block of time set aside every week for each employee. It's completely optional, but it's just a guaranteed time that you can speak with me about questions that you might have, feedback, ideas, concerns, a complete focused 15-minute time that we can chat and hash out anything that we need to. You can always cancel the meeting, but it's always there if you need it. We do ask that if you don't need the time slot, if you can just let us know at 8 p.m. before your scheduled meeting. That helps us stay on schedule for other things. The best way to inform about non-urgent customer notes is to add to the private notes section on the House Call Pro app under the specific job. So if you're doing a job and there's a note related to a customer, if it's not urgent, meaning you don't need to let me know in that moment, add it as a private note to the job, and I review those on a weekly basis. And I will reach out to you if I have any questions about that note. Schedules. You will be issued your work schedule weekly by, at the latest, Sunday, but they are subject to change daily. So please plan to work from 8 to 5 every day that you are scheduled. Please notify management in advance if you have a question or problem with completing your schedule. Each employee is expected to be available to work starting at 8 a.m. and work as late as 5 to 6 p.m. And the 5 to 6 p.m. is on the later end of the spectrum. Most days we're done between 4 and 5 p.m. One-time schedule changes should be requested via email and approved by management. We do require 30 days in advance notice for all non-emergency requests off. Client cleanings are to be serviced at the scheduled time or arrival window. If you foresee a delayed arrival window, we would like you to message the customer through the app immediately. If you're going to go over that arrival window, notify me immediately because we may need to reach out to that customer via phone call immediately and possibly reschedule their cleaning completely, depending on if we'll have time to complete it or not. Time recording. You will track your time on each job, and you'll also track your travel time separately. And we will go over this more in depth on the House Call Pro demo. Dress code. All employees are required to report to work in their company shirt, clean and wrinkle-free, and we prefer it to be tucked into black pants or shorts. Not required, but we do prefer it that way. Black closed-toed shoes are required. No bra straps should be visible. Shoe covers are required when entering customers' homes and during the duration of the cleaning. No dangling jewelry due to safety reasons. This includes bracelets, necklace, dangly earrings. Stud earrings are okay. Hair must be secured in a tight bun with flyaways, hairs either slicked back or secured with a bobby pin. No body or facial piercings other than stud earrings are permitted. Tattoos that are perceived as offensive or diminish the effectiveness of the employee's professionalism must be covered. Nails must be kept short and clean. Daily hygiene includes brushing teeth, showering, and wearing deodorant. No perfumes or colognes are permitted due to potential allergies of our customers and other team members. Safety. The company is committed to providing a safe workplace. Accordingly, the company emphasizes safety first. It is the employee's responsibility to take steps to promote safety in the workplace. By remaining safety conscious, employees can protect themselves and their coworkers. You are required to promptly report all unsafe working conditions, accidents, and injuries regardless of how minor, so that any potential hazard can be corrected. Substance abuse. The company is permitted to providing its employees with a safe and productive work environment. In keeping with this commitment, it maintains a strict policy against the use of alcohol and unlawful use of drugs in the workplace. Workplace searches. At any time, we have the right to search any of our own property that's in your possession. Internet, email, and computer use policy. If you're using a company internet connection, email, or computer, we have the right to search this at any given time. Social media policy. All Natural House Cleaning is committed to utilizing social media to enhance its profile and reputation. We encourage employees to support our activities through their personal social networking channels while adhering to the guidelines outlined in this section. Employees are expected to conduct themselves in a professional manner and to respect the views and opinions of others on social media. The company and its employees are committed to conducting themselves in accordance with the best industry practices in social networking, to being responsible citizens and community members. Cell phone policy. The use of personal cell phones at work is discouraged because it can interfere with work and be disruptive to others. Employees are required to keep their ringer shut off or placed on vibrate mode when they are in the field, and to keep cell phone use confined to breaks and meal periods. Emergency conversations should be had away from areas where other employees are working. If you can refrain from using your cell phone for personal use on the job, that is absolutely encouraged. If you have an emergency phone call, please take that, but we just ask that you step outside to take that phone call or text message. And then we also want you to keep your phone available, but on vibrate. We may need to reach out to you during the day, so we want you to have your phone available, but obviously not using it unnecessarily for personal reasons that are going to distract you from the job. Headphone policy. At this point, employees are not allowed to use headphones or earbuds while on the job due to safety reasons. Attendance policy. Attendance and punctuality are super important in this industry specifically, and also because we are a small business, we have a small team. Your attendance and punctuality is really vital for our success and our efficiency as a company. You are expected to be present for work on time every day. Regular attendance and punctuality are important to fulfill our commitments to our customers. Late arrival and excessive absences cause major disruptions to our operations and ultimately our growth. Employees are responsible for being ready to work at 8 a.m. and continue working until 5 to 6 p.m. Any applicable meal periods and breaks should be observed per company policy. If you will be late or absent, it is your obligation to notify us as soon as possible in advance of your scheduled workday. Please make every reasonable effort to contact us at least 2 hours prior to your start time via phone call. If you are physically unable to notify us, please appoint someone that can. Nothing in this handbook is a guarantee by All Natural House Cleaning of hours of work per day, per week, per year, or any specific work schedule. Excessive absenteeism and tardiness may result in appropriate corrective action up to and including termination. Counseling and corrective actions are intended to provide employees an opportunity to correct performance as circumstances warrant for the company to terminate the employment relationship. The corrective action process may include counseling, coaching, verbal warnings, written warnings, performance action plans, and/or termination. These are not progressive steps that the company is obligated to follow in any prescribed order. The company maintains the sole authority, right, and responsibility to respond to the issue, conduct, or event that may lead to the application of corrective action in the manner it deems appropriate. This includes any legal remedies available to recover a loss, particularly in cases of theft of physical or intellectual property. Problem resolution and open door. So this is how we handle problems that come up and our open door policy. We want to promote an atmosphere in which employees can talk freely with members of management and staff. Employees are encouraged to openly discuss with their manager any issues or concerns so appropriate action can be taken. If you have an issue, a concern, a frustration, we really, really encourage you to communicate with us immediately. If you feel like you need further training so that you can perform your duties at your best, please bring that to our attention. We take it very, very seriously. We're committed to creating a productive, healthful, and safe working environment. All Natural House Cleaning supports efforts made by employees to resolve challenges associated with their job or coworkers. We encourage you to consult your direct manager to discuss job-related issues before they become a major obstacle in accomplishing your work. Again, most things come down to communication. So whether it's between coworkers, if it's with a customer, or the company management, let's get those issues out so we can make an action plan to improve them. We can't help you if you do not inform us of a problem. Planned leaves of absence. Regular attendance is crucial to maintain business operations, but the company recognized that for a variety of reasons, employees will need time off from work. For planned leaves, you must submit a request via email at least 30 days in advance. In the case of an emergency, let us know as soon as possible. All requests for a leave of absence will be considered in light of their effect on the company and its work requirements. Paid time off. Eligible employees are entitled to 5 paid personal days per year. PTO for regular full-time employees will be calculated based on the employee's base rate times the number of hours the employee would otherwise have worked on that day. Paid time off cannot be used until after 1 year of employment. Employees terminated or who voluntarily resign for any reason before the first year will not be owed PTO. If you do not take the full amount of vacation time that you could have taken in a year, the amount will be forfeited at the end of the year based on your anniversary date. In addition to paid time off, all employees are eligible for 5 days of unpaid time off and can be used in half-day increments if needed, for example, a dental appointment. Time off requests. When requesting PTO or unpaid time off, you must give 30-day notice in advance via email, and it must be approved. If an employee expects illness to last over 3 consecutive days, the employee must provide a written doctor's note to excuse the absence within 10 days of the absence. For a foreseeable sick time, such as a routine doctor's appointment, again, 30 days notice. For an unforeseeable sick time, we please ask that you report illness 2 hours before your scheduled shift. Employees should not exceed more than 10 days off per year, including paid and unpaid time off. Time off requests around the holidays. Again, our business is super busy around holiday time. We have a lot of seasonal customers, so we will do our best to accommodate all time off requests, but please understand that we may not be able to accommodate requests off the week before, of, or after the major holidays. Time off requests around the holidays will be approved on a first come, first served basis, so the sooner you let us know, the higher your chances are to get that approved. If multiple employees request the same days off, the senior employee will have priority. Leaving early, employees should expect to arrive to work at 8 and work till 5 to 6, regardless of the House Call Pro schedule. Sometimes we might need you to help another team wrap up. Should you or your team finish all your appointments before 5 p.m., please check in and just make sure that you're not needed somewhere else before you clock out for the day. No call, no show. Employees must report each unscheduled day they are absent. If an employee is a no call, no show for 3 or more consecutive days, it will be considered a job abandonment or termination without notice. Workers' comp leave. Any employee who is unable to work due to a job-related injury or illness and is eligible for workers' compensation benefits will be provided an unpaid leave for the period required. Jury duty. U.S. citizens have a civic obligation to provide jury duty service when called. The employee must bring in the jury duty notice as soon as it is received so that the appropriate arrangement can be made. Company holidays. These are the holidays that we are closed and observe. Christmas, Thanksgiving Day, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, and Independence Day. We do not provide holiday pay at this time. Employee suggestions. We believe that employees contribute to the future success and growth of our company. We value your input and appreciate your daily contribution to our success. And we would like to hear your ideas for improvements which will enhance our workplace, save time, and reduce costs. If you have a suggestion for solving a problem, reducing costs, improving operations or procedures, enhancing customer service, eliminating waste, or making all natural house cleaning a better or safer place to work, please submit your idea either verbally or in writing to us. Via email is best. That way we can have it on record to look back to. Suggestions should contain a description of the problem or condition to be improved, a detailed explanation of the solution or improvement, and the reasons why it should be implemented. If you have any questions or need advice about your idea, please contact us for assistance. This is your acknowledgement where you acknowledge that you've been provided a copy of our policies. This is specifically the leave of absence and attendance policy, and that you understand everything in it. This is our COVID and sick policy. If you are sick, stay home until you are past the contagion window and feel better. Obviously, notify us as soon as you feel unwell. If you've come in contact with COVID directly, please take a test to make sure that you are negative before returning to work. If you test positive for COVID, we will need you to quarantine for 5 days and have a negative test before returning back to work. Masks are not required at this time, but if a customer does request that we wear a mask, we ask that you comply with that to respect the customer. Vaccines are not required, and you do not have to disclose your vaccination status. If customers inquire about it, please kindly and respectfully let the customer know that it is our company policy to keep personal health choices, religious beliefs, politics, etc. private. This same principle applies to any personal question a customer asks that is unrelated to our cleaning services. Any customer that is uncomfortable with our vaccine policy will have the option to request we wear a mask during the entire duration of the cleaning, or obviously they can cancel their cleaning if they don't, if our policy makes them uncomfortable. Agreement to return and care for company equipment. We provide you with several cleaning equipment and supplies to get your job done, and this is your agreement that you're going to take care of it and return it. Employee agreement. This is your at-will agreement and acknowledgement of receiving the employee handbook. And that concludes everything. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to everything. Again, please read the sections that we didn't go through in detail. Read those very carefully. And please let us know if you have any questions. We're super excited to have you join the team. And thanks again for your time.